I often get in conversation with clients who are looking at selling their restaurant, and the conversation usually goes towards what the restaurant is worth. And I often hear the remarks of, the restaurant owes me this much, or I won't sell for anything less than this much. That could be fair enough, but I reply back to them, the actual owner doesn't dictate the price, it's a market. And they may say things like, I've discussed it with my accountant and they believe it's worth this much, which is right because accountants normally work on general multiples for a restaurant or engineering company or whatever it is, and they think a restaurant this level is worth 2 to 1. That's 2 times the profit. So if it's making $200,000 a year, it's worth $400,000. That can be right in many cases, but I often ask them to ask their accountant, if they were buying this restaurant, what would they be willing to pay for it? That usually settles the matter. Anyway, in the real world, I found over the last 20, 30 years involved with restaurants of all different shapes and sizes, that the most important value of a restaurant after the actual profit is the actual rental amount and then for the lease. Basically, you've only got 1 year or 2 years left on your lease, you could be out the door in 2 years' time. If you're paying over market rent, you could be struggling because generally the rental, for a good restaurant is between 8 and 12%. Now, if what you're paying for is in that level, that's fair enough. But sometimes you could be paying market rent and it could be 5% of your turnover because you're an extra good operator and you're doing very well. On the other hand, I've had restaurants with a percentage of their sales of 20% being the actual rental amount as a percentage of sales, which is very critical because when you've got a small profit margin, 5 to 10%, maybe more, up to 20% sometimes, that extra 10% makes a big blow to the budget. The other thing is the condition of the property. Buyers look at the condition of it. Do they have to change these things? Do they have to change the tiles? Do they have to change the kitchen? What they have to do? They've got to pay for it. So that factor into the value. Thing is the maintenance. Is the equipment well maintained? If it's, again, they've had to be replaced, looks like being replaced, or it's hardly of any use, they'll factor that in as well too. Another thing is hours of operation. Now, if you're earning that amount of sales or that much profit, operating for 30 hours a week, it's obviously worth more than the operation working for 100 hours a week. That is an important factor. What is a business involvement? Say, okay, well, I want to buy the restaurant. Do I have to be there 100 hours a week? Is there systems in place where I can come and go as I please? Is that fully managed? What's the current situation? So the involvement, the amount of work that the owner has to put in, correlates with the actual hours of operation. What business systems are there? Does it look like it's flowing very well? Good systems in place. Yeah, there's job descriptions, there's standard menus, there's recipe cards, there's purchasing specifications, there's a list of good suppliers there, there's a good reputation. Is it flowing pretty well? Can I go in there tomorrow and operate it and take over, like a turnkey situation is termed in the industry? So it's not too complex. Do I have to hire a Michelin quality chef to run it? Maybe fair enough. But what happens if that person decides to leave? How easy are they to replace? If it's some operation where I can operate with a reasonably good chef, it's easy to change rather than having to go for a really high quality chef because we've got high upmarket menu which needs certain skilled workers there. Unless we've got the skills ourselves, maybe we're good quality chefs. How long has the business been in operation? Has it just started up 6 months ago? Has it been going for 10 years? Has it got a long reputation of being a good restaurant over the years? What is the quality of the overall building? The actual restaurant may be fine, but how does the outside look? How do the neighbours look like? Are they looking a bit grubby? Does it look like it's not loved by the owner? Does the owner look like they're putting in the effort to maintain the quality of the building? If it's deteriorating, It obviously comes back to your place, no matter how good it is, and it could be a negative. Have there been changes in demographics lately? Is it getting better, more affluent market, or more family market, or what it may be? Does the demographics, which is increasing in the area, appeal to our customer avatar, our typical customer? If it's changing and we may be losing that type of customer, so if it's becoming more family orientated than being maybe business orientated, we may lose sales as such because we're getting less and less business people in the area, and vice versa. What's happening? Check it all out. Look for zoning changes. What's happening? Is it going to improve things, decrease things? Are there zoning changes to increase the density of the area? Greater population, more units, more business, high levels of business. Check with the council. Talk to the Chamber of Commerce. See what's happening in the area. Is a new infrastructure planned? New hospitals, new schools, new business getting better? These things make differences. If more business are being, and more things like schools and hospitals move in, childcare centres, maybe it's become more family orientated. And if we're a family restaurant, that's a big positive. On the other hand, especially in country towns, more small regional areas, maybe infrastructure changes like diversion of a main highway. So if we're on that main road and they're diverting that main road to go more inland away from us, we'll probably lose more customers. So check these with the council, the main roads people, the state government. How good is the record keeping? Have they got accurate records of what's going on? Do they look like they know what they're doing? That could be a positive thing and also a negative thing. So if you think you can do much better, so if they're running the place, as you can see, badly, and you can operate much better, it's worth a lot more to you. So you may be willing to pay a little bit extra. Look at the overall sales over a period of time. Are they increasing or decreasing? Are they level? Steadily increasing over the years? It's a positive thing. If they're declining, you could ask yourself, why are they declining? Look into these things like I mentioned before, the demographics changes, the business changes, the rent, those sort of things all make a difference. How is their reputation in the area? Is it good or is it bad? They may say things like, we won awards. That is good in some way. But surprisingly, I found that some people feel intimidated by buying a restaurant with a lot of awards. It looks great for their ego maybe, but they might say to themselves, if they're the best restaurant in the area, which is a good thing, can I maintain the same standards? Am I good enough? What is a database like? Are they maintaining a good database? Are they reporting? Are they sending out regular emails or newsletters? Their social media presence, how is it like? Is there a system there where they advertise? For example, they may have a good Facebook or Google AdWords or whatever campaign. Are they getting a good return on their spending? The ROAS, as they say in the industry, are they willing to part with it? They may say it's a machine. For example, are they spending $1 to get $4 of sales? Therefore, if you spend $1,000, you might get $4,000 worth of sales. Is there a system in place? Are they getting the return on investment like that? Look for these sort of things. Is there a system in place to continue on getting regular customers over a period of time? Return customers. How are they getting their customers? Check all these things out. Go through all these and obviously check the accounts to make sure it's all correct. Things like depreciation schedules. Are they depreciating the equipment correctly? Most restaurants undervalue their equipment, so depreciation is an income. So look at these things. I go through these things all the time with our clients to make sure that they're getting as much value when they're selling their business, whether it be tomorrow, next week, in 1 or 2, 3 years' time. Whatever it is, plan ahead. These are the things that buyers look for. If you answer these questions right, it enhances your chances of getting that price you want for your business so you can move on to your retirement or your next big business venture. Like to your comments, and please subscribe to this channel for videos like this. This is Tastzidis from Best Restaurant Results.